Hello there. Take a deep breath, a very deep breath, and exhale slowly. Feel the fresh air entering your lungs, then gently leaving, carrying away all tension and worry. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. Allow your body to sink deeper into relaxation, releasing every muscle fiber, every nerve. Today, I want to invite you on a special journey, a journey that requires no plane tickets, no bulky luggage, no detailed planning. All you need is an open heart, a soul ready to explore, and a little, just a little, of your own imagination. Together, we will leave behind the noise, the pressures, the hustle and bustle of present life to find a peaceful sanctuary where time seems to stand still and all your senses will be subtly awakened. Close your eyes. If you are sitting, feel the chair supporting you. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. If you are lying down, feel the softness of the bed, the gentle comfort of your blankets and pillows. Now, let your mind gently drift, like a small sailboat gliding across a calm lake. We won't travel far in space, but we will go back very far in time. We will set foot in an ancient city, a metropolis that was once the heart of a vast empire, but not the London of today, rather the London of the 19th century, on a night of thick fog. Are you ready? Imagine, it's late at night. Clocks chime the last hours of the day, echoing from some ancient church tower, then fading into silence. A thick fog, like a giant duvet, has been pulled up to cover the entire city. It's not merely condensed water vapor, it's a living entity, carrying its own mystery and beauty, embracing every nook, every street, every rooftop with a gentle, contemplative grace. You are standing on a cobblestone street. Beneath your feet, the stones gleam with moisture, shimmering mysteriously under the dim gas lamps. The street lights, instead of illuminating the path clearly, create hazy halos, like shimmering auras in the fog, making everything appear vague and ethereal. You can see the silhouettes of ancient trees reaching into the night, their gnarled branches like slender fingers extending from the mist. Moss-covered red brick houses, with their distinctive Victorian architecture, are deeply submerged in the fog, revealing only small windows like sleeping eyes, or occasionally a faint, yellowish candlelight flickering from within, suggesting a distant, inviting warmth. There are no blaring car horns, no distracting neon lights, no thumping music from modern bars or noisy chatter from hurried crowds. Only a strange stillness, an almost absolute silence, which you rarely find in modern life. The fog acts like a thick blanket, swallowing all sounds, making the surrounding world astonishingly subdued. Occasionally, very faintly, you might hear the distant clip-clop of horses' hooves echoing from another street, or the gentle rumble of wooden wheels from a carriage gliding through the mist. But all are very far away, indistinct, as if from a dream or an old memory. Take another deep breath. Can you feel the cool, damp air permeating every skin cell, soothing all weariness? It's the mist, carrying the scent of coal smoldering in the fireplaces of the houses, creating a distinctive aroma of the ancient city. Intermingled with this are the damp, earthy smells of stone and moss, and a hint of recently fallen rain lingering on the leaves in the street. A classic, contemplative scent, not overpowering, but a subtle, gentle blend, making you feel strangely at peace, as if returning to a forgotten era. You are an invisible traveler in this night. No one sees you. No one knows you are here. You are free to wander the deserted streets, pass through winding alleys, feeling each cobblestone beneath your feet. Each step you take makes no sound. You are like a shadow in the mist, a silent observer. A sense of safety envelops you, a security that comes from being completely detached from the world, from being hidden in the ethereal fog, where all boundaries dissolve. You don't need to be anyone. You don't need to do anything. You simply exist, feel, immerse yourself. This is a timeless moment. There's no clock to watch, no schedule to adhere to. Everything slows down, everything is still. You can take time to listen to your own breath, to the beat of your heart, to the thoughts gently passing through your mind. The fog is not an obstacle, but a companion, sheltering and embracing you, helping you find inner stillness. Let your soul melt into this space. This is a world without deadlines, without pressure, without the expectations of others. Only you and the absolute stillness of 19th century London on a mystical foggy night. Enjoy the feeling of being yourself, of freely exploring, of being immersed in the beauty of silence and mystery. Let everyday worries dissipate like mist, giving way to peace and serenity. Every step you take on the damp cobblestone path is a new discovery. You can imagine yourself walking past closed markets where the scents of spices, fruits, and baked bread still linger in the air. You can glide past ancient shops with dimly lit display windows where exquisite handicrafts, old books, or antique clocks lie dormant, awaiting a new day. Everything has a story to tell, and you, as a traveler of the night, are silently listening. This feeling of invisibility brings a strange freedom. You can observe without being observed. You can contemplate without being judged. This is your private space, where you can reconnect with yourself most deeply. Your breath is steady, rhythmic. Your mind becomes clear, light. All burdens seem to have been lifted, and you feel a serenity spreading throughout your body. When you feel ready, slowly take another deep breath. Carry the peace, the stillness, and the sense of self-mastery from this journey back to reality. Feel the chair you are sitting on again, or the bed you are lying on. Slowly, gently open your eyes. You are still here, but your soul has been cleansed, renewed. Remember, the power of imagination is boundless, and you can always find a peaceful sanctuary within your mind whenever you need it. This journey to 19th century London on a foggy night is just one example. You can create any world you desire to find stillness, inspiration, and inner strength. Hold on to this feeling of peace and carry it with you throughout your day. Thank you for joining me on this special journey. May you live a day filled with peace and energy. Have you ever felt lost in the thick of night, when fog envelops every path and a bone-chilling cold seeps into every cell? I once did, standing amidst a world seemingly without anchor, where hope was merely a faint, fragile glimmer, easily swallowed by endless darkness. It was a fated night, a night when my life seemed submerged in confusion and solitude. That night, I wandered through an ancient forest where towering old trees stood like giant specters amidst the dense fog. Each heavy step on the decaying leaf litter created dry, isolated sounds in the terrifying silence. The biting cold cut through my skin, and every breath turned to a white mist, vanishing into nothingness, as if my very existence was fading with each passing moment. I didn't know where I was, much less where I was going. Everything around was shrouded in gloom. Only the wind whistled through the leaves like the lament of a lost soul, or perhaps my own heart crying out in despair. The fog was so thick I couldn't see my own hand. All directions were blurred. I had walked for hours, perhaps miles, but seemed only to be circling in an inescapable loop of despair. Fear began to creep in, choking every breath, and my mind filled with unanswered questions. Was there any way out? Would I find shelter before this cold and loneliness completely consumed me? As exhaustion and despair began to overwhelm me, when the will to continue was just a flickering ember, suddenly, piercing through the swirling fog, a warm golden light appeared. It was not a blinding light, but a gentle amber glow, like a whisper of hope from afar. That glimmer was fragile, yet strong enough to penetrate the dark veil, like a promise of something better awaiting. My heart beat a little stronger. A tiny spark of curiosity and hope ignited in my frozen chest. I walked towards that light, each step heavy but full of determination. The fog remained thick, but that light was like a golden thread guiding the way, pulling me out of the labyrinth of being lost. The closer I got, the clearer the light became, and I began to feel a strange warmth spreading in the air, dispelling some of the biting cold. Gradually, a majestic shape began to emerge, as if it were crafted from dreams of peace itself. It was a magnificent Victorian house, built of vibrant red bricks, standing steadfast amidst the biting cold of the night. The house was not merely an edifice, it was like a sturdy fortress, defying the harshness of time and nature, exuding an ancient yet proud beauty. Large windows framed with intricate woodwork, graceful arches, and elaborate decorative details on the deep red brick walls created a perfect picture amidst the desolate landscape. It didn't appear abandoned or cold. On the contrary, it exuded a vibrant life, as if awaiting someone's return. On the porch, an antique iron lantern cast a shimmering amber light, more brilliant than any star in the night sky. That light not only guided the way, but also dispelled the fear engulfing me, promising a safe haven, a place where I could find peace. That lantern was not just a decoration, it was a beacon, a symbol of sanctuary, of a sincere invitation. Its light danced on the flagstones of the courtyard, creating warm shadows like invisible arms beckoning me inside. Standing before the threshold, I felt a powerful energy emanating from the house. The house was not just a mere structure. It exuded an unusually warm energy, as if it had stood there for centuries, sheltering countless lost souls. It promised eternal warmth, a refuge from the cold, mysterious night and life's storms. It was a promise without words, a promise conveyed through every red brick, every amber glow, every breath of warmth spreading in the air. I felt as though I had found something I didn't even know I was searching for, a sanctuary of light, of peace. I ascended the stone steps, feeling the solidity beneath each footfall. My heart pounded, not from fear, but from an intense hope. I stood before the heavy oak door, feeling its sturdiness and antiquity. The wood grain was distinct, telling a story of time and resilience. A strange feeling swelled within me, a mixture of anticipation and trust. I raised my hand and gently knocked. The knock echoed softly in the night, like a plea, a request for entry. And then a miracle occurred. The door slowly opened, not pulled by anyone, but as if welcoming me on its own. No creaking, no haste, only a gentle, deliberate opening. It revealed an unexpectedly welcoming interior. The air inside was miraculously warm, utterly unlike the biting cold outside. I took a deep breath, feeling the warmth fill my lungs, dispelling the chill that had clung to me all night. A large fireplace blazed at the far end of the room. The flames danced playfully, banishing all shadows and painting shimmering patterns on the walls. The soft golden light from the fireplace, combined with the glow from antique oil lamps on tables, created an ethereal, unusually cozy atmosphere. The scent of pine wood and dried herbs wafted through the air, bringing a sense of peace and comfort, as if all worries and sorrows vanished into thin air. The interior was exquisitely decorated, yet no less inviting. Deep red velvet armchairs, polished oak tables, and classic paintings on the walls created a timeless beauty. This space was not just a physical refuge, it was a sanctuary for the soul, a sacred place where all burdens seemed to be lifted. I felt a profound peace spread within me, a sense of belonging I had yearned for so long. I stepped inside, the heavy oak door gently closing behind me, as if protecting me from the cold world outside. Standing in the warm room, I realized that this sanctuary of light was not just a house, but a symbol. It was a symbol of hope when all seemed lost, a symbol of resilience when facing adversity, and a symbol that there is always a warm place awaiting us, whether in the physical world or deep within our souls. In life, we will often find ourselves lost amidst the fog of difficulties, fears, and disappointments. We will feel cold, lonely, and disoriented. But the important thing is never to stop searching for the light. That light could be a tiny spark of hope, a word of encouragement from someone, a book, or simply a positive thought arising in our minds. Just like this Victorian house, each person's sanctuary of light may not be a specific place, but a state of mind, a source of inner strength, a firm belief that after every dark night, dawn will come again, bringing warmth and life. Believe that. No matter where you are, no matter what challenge you face, there is always a sanctuary of light waiting for you to discover. It can be a place where you find peace, where you restore your energy, and where you realize your true self-worth. The important thing is to have enough courage to walk through the fog, enough patience to seek the light, and enough faith to open the door and step into your own warm space. Because even in the darkest night, hope always shines, as long as we know how to find and trust it. And when you find your own sanctuary, you will realize that eternal warmth is not just a promise, but a reality you fully deserve to embrace. Have you ever felt like you're racing against time itself, swept into an relentless current of modern life? Every morning upon waking, it seems we are immediately thrust into a frantic cycle. The shrill alarm clock, a barrage of notifications from smartphones, a never-ending to-do list, and the pressure to always be connected, productive, constantly moving forward. The outside world is noisy, dusty, and relentlessly demanding. Our minds reel with hundreds of thoughts, our hearts pound with anxiety, and sometimes we just wish for a place to stop, to escape that ceaseless whirlwind, if only for a moment, to catch our breath, to find ourselves again. Amidst the chaos of worries, amidst the invisible burdens that weigh us down, is there a space reserved for our souls to rest? A place where the noise of the outside world cannot reach, where time seems to slow down, where we can be completely ourselves, without judgment, without pressure. I once yearned for such a place, a peaceful haven to recharge, to heal the invisible wounds that a hurried life had inflicted. And then one day I found, or rather I created, such a space. I call it the time corridor. It's not a specific location on a map, not a locked room in some building. This is a space of the soul, an invisible threshold you can cross at any time, as long as your heart truly yearns for peace. I remember very clearly the first time I stepped into this corridor. It was an afternoon when I felt utterly exhausted, my spirit weary after a long day grappling with work and complex relationships. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and told myself it's time. And immediately, the noisy, dusty, and hurried world outside seemed to vanish. A completely different space opened before my eyes, embracing me with a wondrous warmth. The first sensation was a pleasant ease spreading throughout my body, and as if I had just stepped into an old house, where a warm fireplace glowed softly on a cold winter afternoon. The air was dry, no longer the chilly dampness or suffocating humidity of the city. Each breath carried freshness, purity, soothing the tensions coiling in my chest. And then a faint, pleasant fragrance permeated everywhere, like the scent of ancient contemplative sandalwood, the lingering warmth of freshly brewed jasmine tea, or the smell of old book pages carefully preserved through the years. It was a scent of peace, of gentle memories, soothing all my senses and inviting my soul to relax. The fragrance wasn't so strong as to be overwhelming, but rather gentle, subtle, seeping into every cell, carrying a message of safety and tranquility. It was like a soft welcome telling me, "You've come home." In this quiet, warm, and fragrant space, my gaze was drawn to a special object, standing majestically in a corner of the room. It was a tall grandfather clock, not like the dazzling digital clocks or annoying beeping devices common in modern life. This was a work of art of time, a symbol of patience and eternity. Its wooden casing was exquisitely carved, with soft, delicate lines bearing the marks of time and the artisan's skill. The classic clock face with elegant Roman numerals and a gleaming brass pendulum gently swinging back and forth like a steadily beating heart. Its ticking wasn't the hurried countdown of life, not a reminder to be faster, to finish everything before it's too late. On the contrary, each beat was a gentle lullaby, a rhythmic, steady sound like the breathing heart of the universe. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Each beat didn't urge me to rush, but invited me to listen, to feel each passing moment. It filled the silence, not with noise, but with a contemplative presence, reminding me of the eternal and the finite nature of each moment. That ticking sound was like an invisible thread, slowly weaving the tapestry of time, allowing me to see each moment clearly, instead of letting them slip by unconsciously. It taught me that time is not an enemy to be fought, but a companion, if we know how to cherish it and slow down to feel it. In this time corridor, the clock didn't control me. Instead, it helped me regain control of myself, helping me become the master of time, rather than its slave. In this time corridor, there's no pressure to do anything, no deadlines to meet, no messages to reply to immediately. This is a place for you to slow down completely. You can sit in a comfortable armchair, close your eyes, and let your mind wander aimlessly. Take a deep breath, feel the fresh air fill your lungs, then exhale gently, shedding all burdens, all anxieties, all sorrows weighing on your shoulders. Feel the tension slowly leave your body, like clouds dissipating after the rain. Or you can open your eyes, observe the small details around you, feel the peace radiating from every corner of this space. Admire the grain patterns on the clock's wooden casing, the soft light filtering through the window, or simply observe your own breath. A feeling of absolute safety enveloped me. All worries, fears, all judgments from the outside world cannot reach this place. This is a fortress of the soul, a safe harbor amidst the stormy ocean of life. You are allowed to be yourself, allowed to be vulnerable, allowed to rest, and allowed to recharge without needing to explain or justify yourself to anyone. This time corridor is not a specific place on a map, but a state of mind, an inner space that each of us can create for ourselves. It's the moment you turn off your phone and read a favorite book, letting your soul wander with the words. It's when you sit by the window, watch the rain fall, and enjoy a hot cup of tea, feeling the tranquility of nature. It's when you dedicate quiet time to meditate, to listen to your own breath, connecting with your deepest self. It's when you spend a few minutes watching the sunrise or sunset, contemplating the eternal cycle of the universe. Wherever you are, however busy life may be, remember that the door to this time corridor is always there, waiting for you. Allow yourself to step in, even if only for a few minutes each day. Slow down, to breathe, to feel the deep safety and peace within your soul. Because only when we truly reconnect with ourselves in stillness can we find the strength and clarity to face all of life's challenges. Create your own time corridor, and you will find your life becoming more meaningful, complete, and peaceful than ever before. It is the most precious gift you can give yourself. In the hustle and bustle of life, amidst the ceaseless flow of information and the clamor of urban noise, have you ever yearned for a place where time seems to stand still, where all worries melt away, and the soul returns to its pristine stillness? I once yearned for such a place, yearned for it with a burning desire, until I found, or perhaps created one. It is a room, but not just an ordinary room. It is a secret world, a protective cocoon, a sanctuary of peace that I affectionately call my private study. When you step into my private study, the heavy wooden door softly closes behind you, not with a decisive click, but with a gentle, almost inaudible hush. Immediately, you sense a shift in the atmosphere. The distant honking of cars, the noisy chatter of people, the pulsating music from the neighboring apartment. All the sounds of the outside world seem to be swallowed whole, vanishing without a trace. This room is not merely a physical space. It is a gateway to another dimension, where absolute stillness reigns. Dark oak panels, exquisitely carved and meticulously polished, cover all four walls. They not only create a classic, luxurious aesthetic, but also serve as a perfect soundproofing layer. Natural oak possesses a miraculous ability to absorb sound, transforming even the slightest noise into invisible vibrations, then dissipating them deep within its grain. When you are in this room, you no longer hear sounds from outside, but even more astonishingly, you no longer hear your own echo. Every word, every thought, every breath seems to be held, embraced within this cozy space, preventing them from reverberating and disturbing your concentration. Beneath your feet lies a large, thick, and soft Persian rug, with classic patterns unfurling like a work of art. The rug's fibers are meticulously hand-woven, creating a surface so incredibly soft. When you walk upon it, every footstep completely vanishes. You can move from one corner of the room to another without making a single sound, not even the slightest rustle. This silence is not an emptiness, but a vibrant stillness. A space meticulously designed to eliminate every distraction, no matter how small, allowing you to fully immerse yourself. My private study is designed for a singular purpose: deep, uninterrupted repose. This is not a place for hurried work, for racing against time, or for tackling a dozen urgent tasks. On the contrary, it is a place for you to pause, to breathe, to listen to your inner voice that has long been obscured by the myriad noises of life. It is a place to read a book undisturbed by a phone's ring, to write down your deepest thoughts without fear of interruption, to meditate and connect with your authentic self. The atmosphere in this room possesses a timeless tranquility. Here, the concept of time seems to fade. Clocks still tick, but their ticking becomes distant, gentle, merely a soft rhythm of the universe rather than the urgency of a schedule. You can sit for hours, perhaps an entire afternoon, without feeling the passage of time. The only thing you perceive is the complete presence of the current moment. All worries about the past, all plans for the future dissipate, giving way to a profound sense of peace, an absolute focus on what is happening right now. This room is imbued with the wisdom of silence. Silence is not nothingness. Silence is where everything begins. It is where new ideas are born, where big questions are posed, and profound answers are revealed. When no longer distracted by external noise, your mind becomes extraordinarily clear. You can clearly hear the echoes of your thoughts and emotions. You can analyze problems more thoroughly, view things from a fresh perspective, and make wiser decisions. The silence here is not a frightening void, but a space brimming with potential, filled with the whispers of inner wisdom. I often seek out my private study when I feel lost, when I need to regain my bearings, or simply when I need to recharge my soul. Each time I step inside, I feel as though I am returning home, returning to the deepest part of myself that I had forgotten in the rush of life. This room has taught me that silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of a higher state of mind. It is a place where you can meet yourself, confront your fears, your secret dreams, and find the strength to overcome any challenge. In my private study, I have learned to listen not just with my ears, but with my heart. I have learned to embrace the quiet moments in life, not viewing them as meaningless, but as precious opportunities for renewal and growth. I have realized that much like a cocoon envelops a caterpillar before it transforms into a beautiful creature, silence is also a cocoon for our souls, where we can transform, mature, and ultimately soar. So then, my friend, are you willing to seek out your own private study? It may not be a physical room with oak panels and Persian rugs. It could be a small corner in your home, a deserted park in the early morning, or even just a moment when you turn off all electronic devices. Close your eyes and listen to your own breath. The important thing is not the form, but the intention. The intention to create a space, even if only in your mind, where you can find stillness, where you can reconnect with yourself and discover the wisdom hidden within silence. Remember, our greatest strength lies not in our ability to create noise or impress the outside world, but in our ability to listen to the deep inner voice, a voice that only speaks when all other distractions have quieted. My private study is a reminder that within each of us lies a sanctuary of peace, waiting to be discovered. Give it time, cherish it, and you will see your life change in a miraculous way. A biting winter night, as the north winds howled outside the window, seeping through every crack, carrying a bone-chilling cold that pierced to the very depths of the soul. The entire city was shrouded in a thick mist, covering everything in a silver-white cloak, silent and melancholic. Outside, the skeletal trees shivered in the wind, the deserted streets swallowed by dense darkness. But in my small room, another world was slowly coming into being, warm, shimmering, and inviting. I, a wanderer of thoughts, sought refuge by the old fireplace, where the embers still glowed faintly, like a promise of peace, a safe haven from the cold of the outside world and the chill within my own soul. My gaze was captivated by the dance of the flames, an ancient dance that never grew old. The logs, long consumed, were now just brilliant blocks of glowing embers, radiating an ethereal red-orange light, like precious gems breathing, sparkling with life. From their depths, tiny flames began to stretch, sometimes a vibrant orange-yellow like summer sun, sometimes shifting to a strange iridescent blue-green like light from another world, like playful little spirits. They danced ceaselessly, swaying gracefully, reaching proudly upwards, then gently fading, only for another flame to burst forth, stronger, more brilliant. Each flame was a story, a vivid moment of existence, of an unquenchable passion. They never stood still, always moving, always changing, but their essence, warmth and light, remained intact, steadfast like life itself. And then the sound, the gentle crackle of dry wood as it surrendered to the flames, a soft hiss like the breath of an ancient creature, a whisper from a distant past. Sometimes a sudden crisp pop, like a spark exploding, awakening every sense. All blended together, forming a unique symphony, an ancient song that I believed had been sung since primordial times, when humans first discovered the power and wonder of fire. The sound was not loud or hurried, but deep and steady, like the heartbeat of the earth, like a mother's lullaby. It enveloped me, creating an invisible wall, shielding me from all the noise of the outside world, from worries and the burdens of life. In that moment, I felt protected, embraced by a primal energy, powerful yet incredibly gentle, a feeling of absolute security rarely found in the chaotic modern world. The heat from the fireplace radiated outwards, not too intense, but incredibly warm and pleasant, like a comforting embrace. At first, I felt it in my fingertips and toes, numb from the night's chill. Slowly, the warmth seeped deep into every muscle fiber, chasing away the shivers and numbness, awakening every dormant blood vessel. It gradually spread up my arms, then to my chest, my heart, and finally my entire body. I closed my eyes, breathed deeply, feeling every cell in my body awakening, being reborn, like a flower unfurling under the sun. The bitter cold of the outside world seemed to vanish into nothingness, leaving only a sweet warmth enveloping me, soothing all tension and fatigue. It was not just physical warmth, but a warmth that permeated deep into my soul, soothing invisible wounds, comforting lingering sorrows, bringing an oddly profound sense of peace and tranquility. Sitting by the fireplace, my mind felt cleansed, becoming clearer and more lucid than ever. I looked at the flame and saw within it an image of my own life, of every human life. Life, too, is like that flame. Sometimes it blazes fiercely, vibrant with color, full of energy and passion. But there are also times when it smolders, quiet like embers, seemingly faded, leaving only ash. Yet, precisely from within those ashes, a new spark flickers, weak but full of hope, signaling a new beginning, a latent vitality. That is the power of resilience, of unyielding faith, of the indomitable spirit that each of us carries within. With each crackle of dry wood, I reflected on the challenges and difficulties we face on life's journey. Just as wood must burn completely to transform into brilliant embers, we too must go through hardships, losses, and stumbles to grow, to discover the hidden strength within ourselves. Fire does not fear the material it consumes. Instead, it transforms it into energy, into light, into warmth that comforts all things. Similarly, failures are not endpoints or conclusions, but valuable lessons, catalysts that make us stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing all future challenges. The flame taught me about presence, about living fully in the moment. It doesn't concern itself with the past that has passed or worry about the future yet to come. It simply exists fully in the present moment, burning completely, shining brightly, bringing light and warmth to everything around it. We are often caught in a whirlwind of regrets about what is past or anxieties about what is to come, forgetting the value of this moment, this breath. The flame reminded me to slow down, to feel each breath, each beat of life, and to cherish what I have, no matter how small, because the present is the most precious gift. It is also a symbol of constant transformation. From rigid dry wood, fire transforms into light, into heat, into ash. Nothing is eternal. Everything is constantly changing, transforming. Instead of fearing change, we should learn to accept and adapt, because in every transformation lies a new opportunity, a new beginning, a door opening to unexplored potentials. Just as the flame always strives upwards, we too should continuously learn, develop ourselves to become better, stronger versions of ourselves, constantly moving forward. Time passed quickly as I was immersed in the peace and profound reflections by the fireplace. The flame gradually died down, leaving only smoldering embers, but its warmth lingered in the air, and more importantly, in my heart. The experience by the fireplace was not merely about seeking physical warmth on a cold winter night, but also a journey of self-discovery, an opportunity to connect with my deepest self, to find stillness amidst the hustle and bustle of life. When I left the fireplace, darkness still enveloped the outside, the wind still howled, but within me, a new flame had been ignited, brilliant and enduring. The flame of peace, of hope, of inner strength, and of gratitude. I understood that no matter how harsh life becomes, no matter how biting the cold winds of challenge may be, within each of us there always burns a small, smoldering flame, an eternal source of energy. Our task is to preserve and nurture that flame with faith, with love, and with an indomitable will, so that it never extinguishes, so that it always illuminates our path and warms our soul in the loneliest, most difficult moments. Let that flame remind you that you are stronger than you think, more resilient than you imagine, and you always have the ability to overcome all of life's storms. You just need to believe in yourself, continuously igniting the flame of hope and passion within you. That is the most precious lesson I learned from the experience by the fireplace, a lesson about life, about hope, about love, and about the extraordinary potential of every human being. In this hurried, bustling life, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, where is the sanctuary for your soul? Where is that little corner where one can completely let go of all burdens, all worries, and then find true peace? For me, that place isn't a towering mountain peak, a vast, deserted beach, or a dazzling, luxurious city. That place is my very own leather throne, an old, time-worn armchair, yet it holds a miraculous power to soothe all anxieties. I still vividly remember the first day I saw it. Not in a luxurious furniture store, but in a small corner of a second-hand shop where old items were piled high, silently telling their own stories. Amidst countless cluttered objects, that armchair still stood out remarkably, as if it were waiting for someone special to discover it. It was a large, winged Chesterfield armchair, made from soft leather, worn with age over the years. Every grain of the leather, every wrinkle, every tiny scratch didn't detract from its beauty. On the contrary, they were like witnesses of time, etching countless stories and memories it had silently observed. The dark brown of the leather under the shop's dim yellow light exuded a classic, contemplative, and utterly captivating beauty. I was immediately drawn to its inviting appearance. It wasn't the dazzling, flashy kind of beauty one often sees in brand new items. Its beauty was one of experience, warmth, and familiarity. The large wings on either side of the backrest not only created a unique shape, but also evoked the feeling of wide open arms, ready to embrace anyone who sought it. I could picture the scene. The flickering fire in the fireplace casting light onto the chair's muted, glossy leather, creating a magical shimmer as if it were breathing alive and softly beckoning me closer. It was like an old friend, silent but always there, ready to listen and share. When I touched the leather, a cool sensation, followed by softness and warmth, spread through me. The leather was no longer taut and shiny as it once was, but had become supple and resilient, as if it had been caressed and touched hundreds, thousands of times. Perhaps that's why it possessed such a strange allure. It was no longer an inanimate object, but seemed to have a soul, a breath, and a compassionate heart. Finally, I brought that armchair home. It became the centerpiece of my small living room, facing the fireplace. Every time night fell and the firelight danced, my leather throne would appear with an unusually radiant, warm beauty. The dark brown leather shimmered in the firelight, its old leather grains distinctly visible, like rivers of time winding across its surface. It was not just a piece of furniture, but also a work of art, a silent companion, a peaceful haven I always returned to after a long, tiring day. And then, the most sacred moment was when I settled into that leather throne. It was unlike any other chair I had ever sat in. The moment my body touched its leather surface, the chair seemed to know how to perfectly accept my weight. There was no stiffness, no discomfort. Instead, there was a gentle, soft sensation, as if I were sinking into a cotton cloud. Every muscle fiber seemed to completely relax. The armchair embraced my body gently yet firmly. The high, spacious backrest, along with the two large wings on either side, formed a private, cozy space. My head rested against the soft backrest, my neck perfectly supported. My hands relaxed on the armrests, feeling the softness of the worn leather. It didn't merely support my body, it cradled and soothed me. I felt myself sinking deeper and deeper into the chair, as if it were drawing me into a peaceful dream, completely separated from the noisy world outside. That physical sensation was truly indescribable. It was a combination of the leather's softness, the resilience of the inner cushioning, and a shape designed to cradle every curve of the body. I could feel every slightest pressure on my body gradually dissolving. My shoulders were no longer tense, my back no longer ached, and my tired feet were completely at rest. Each time I exhaled, I felt myself sink a little deeper, as if the chair were gently inhaling and exhaling with me, in harmony with the rhythm of my soul. And then, in that moment, I not only felt physical comfort, but also a sense of being cherished amidst luxury and history. This chair had existed through countless years, witnessing countless lives, countless stories. Every worn spot, every wrinkle on the leather was a testament to the flow of time, to memories past. When sitting on this leather throne, I wasn't just sitting on a piece of furniture. I was sitting on a piece of history, enveloped by silent stories, by the breaths of the past. The chair's luxury didn't come from its newness or sparkle, but from its very age, its experience. It was a timeless beauty, a comfort that no brand new chair could rival. It offered a feeling of being valued, cherished, as if I were a distinguished guest being treated to the finest essences of time and craftsmanship. I could close my eyes, inhale the faint scent of old leather, and feel the warmth radiating from the cushioning. It was the scent of peace, of safety, of a sanctuary where I could truly be myself. In those moments, all worries, all pressures of life seemed to vanish. Work, complex relationships, unachieved goals, all faded into insignificance, giving way to absolute relaxation. The leather throne was not just where I sat, but also where I found myself, found balance and tranquility in my soul. It allowed me to let go of everything, allowed me to be myself, without pretense, without effort. I could sit there for hours, reading a book, sipping a warm cup of tea, or simply watching the flickering fire and letting my mind wander. Each time, I felt as if I were recharged, renewed from within. The chair demanded nothing of me. It was simply there, silently listening, silently supporting. It was a friend who never judged, a sanctuary that never closed its doors. And then I realized that my leather throne was not just an armchair. It was a symbol of freedom, of peace, of the ability to find happiness in the simplest things in life. It reminded me that no matter how busy life gets, we all need our own space, our own throne, to rest, to reflect, and to reconnect with ourselves. It was a reminder that true comfort and happiness don't lie in external glitz, but in the peace within one's soul, and the ability to find it in the simplest, most familiar moments. That's why, whenever I'm tired, whenever I need a little peace, I return to my leather throne. I believe that each of us deserves such a throne, a place for the soul to rest, to heal, and to be re-energized to continue its journey. Seek your own throne, whether it's a chair, a garden corner, or simply a quiet moment within your soul. Because that is where you find true peace, where you can be yourself, and where you can nurture your dreams. In this hurried life, we often seek something grand, something magnificent to fill the void in our souls. We strive for dazzling successes, for distant goals, and sometimes, in that relentless journey, we forget that peace is not a destination, but a flavor, an experience that can be found right in the simplest things, right in the present moment. I still vividly remember a late evening when the city had fallen asleep, leaving only the gentle rustle of wind through the window and the soft yellow light from my desk lamp. A long day filled with worries, stressful meetings, and endless projects had drained my energy. Both my body and mind felt heavy, craving something truly light, truly soothing. At that moment, I didn't turn to noisy entertainment, nor did I want to get lost in endless thoughts about tomorrow. I just wanted a moment to be myself, to rest and rejuvenate. And so, a small but meaningful ritual began. I stepped into the kitchen, turned on the hob, and boiled some water. While waiting, I carefully selected my favorite ceramic mug. It wasn't an overly elaborate mug, with an ivory cream color and a few simple patterns, handcrafted in a traditional craft village. Every time I held it, I always felt its warmth, its rustic simplicity, and the story of the artisan who had breathed life into it. This mug was not just a vessel, it was a part of the experience, a companion in those quiet moments. When the water had boiled, I poured it into the teapot, adding a few golden dried chamomile flowers and a spoon of pure honey, smooth and thick like amber. Each chamomile petal slowly unfolded in the hot water, releasing a pure, gentle aroma. The honey melted and blended, bringing with it the delicate sweetness of nature. I let the tea steep for a few minutes, long enough for the essences to be fully extracted, long enough for the flavors to infuse and spread. And then the awaited moment arrived. I poured the tea into my ceramic mug. Delicate, ethereal steam rose, forming soft white wisps like a dance of serenity. I brought the mug closer, taking a deep breath. Immediately, a warm, sweet, and pure fragrance permeated every olfactory cell, soothing my tense nervous system. It was the gentle scent of chamomile, intertwined with the subtle sweetness of honey. A perfect, natural, and delicate combination. This aroma was not merely the smell of tea. It carried a message, a reminder to slow down, to breathe, and to let the soul rest. I closed my eyes, feeling the warmth from the ceramic mug spread through my palms. This gentle heat not only warmed my hands, but also felt like a gentle current of energy flowing into my body, chasing away the chill of the late night and all the accumulated fatigue. In that moment, all worries, all noisy thoughts in my head seemed to vanish. There was only me, the mug of tea, and the captivating aroma enveloping the space. Then I slowly took a sip. The warm, gently sweet liquid flowed over my tongue, spreading throughout my mouth. The slight astringency of the chamomile blended with the subtle sweetness of the honey, creating an enchanting symphony of flavors. As the tea flowed down my throat, a warm sensation spread throughout my body, not just physical warmth, but an inner warmth, as if a gentle source of energy was being replenished. It was an indescribable feeling, It wasn't extreme excitement, nor was it a burst of joy. Rather, it was a profound peace and absolute tranquility. Each sip of tea seemed to wash away all worries, all burdens from my soul. I felt enveloped by a soft cocoon of serenity. In that moment, I didn't think about the past, nor did I worry about the future. I lived fully in the present, with the taste of the tea, the warmth of the mug, and the overwhelming sense of peace. That experience made me realize something profound. This was the flavor of peace. It wasn't something luxurious, not something to be searched for at the ends of the earth. Instead, it lay right in small, simple things, in the rituals we create for ourselves. I had heard many people talk about finding peace, but never had I felt it so clearly, as if I were drinking peace itself. It was like drinking a kind of liquid peace. Each sip of tea not only nourished my body, but also nourished my soul. It soothed invisible scratches, healed the voids that the hustle and bustle of life had inadvertently created. It was a gentle reminder that, amidst life's demands, we can always find a small corner for ourselves, a sanctuary to recharge and reconnect with ourselves. After finishing the tea, I remained seated in silence. The sweet, pure aftertaste still lingered on my tongue, and the feeling of peace still permeated my entire body. I realized that peace is not the absence of all troubles, but the ability to maintain inner calm even when troubles persist. It is a state of mind, a choice. And from that evening, the ritual of drinking chamomile honey tea became an indispensable part of my life. It's not just a habit, but a daily reminder of the importance of taking time for myself, for quiet moments, for simple yet profound experiences. It taught me that to find peace, sometimes all we need is a ceramic mug, a little chamomile, a little honey, and a heart ready to feel. The flavor of peace is not a hidden secret. It is always there, waiting for us to discover, waiting for us to savor and feel. Just try it sometime, won't you? Give yourself such a moment to feel the flavor of peace melting in every sip of tea and within your own soul. There are places in this world where time seems to stand still, where space becomes strangely tranquil, and every breath carries a hint of profound wisdom, of stories that have slumbered for centuries. These are not ancient temples or sacred forests, but rooms filled with books, vast libraries, or simply a cozy little corner with a few old books. There, amidst pages yellowed by time and covers stacked upon each other, one finds a special presence, a quiet yet profoundly wise presence. Imagine for a moment stepping into such a space. The scent of old paper, printer's ink, and even the dust of ages mingle, creating a distinctive aroma, a fragrance of knowledge. Soft light might filter through a window, illuminating the spines of books, painting shimmering streaks of light across a world that seems utterly still. Books, they are silent guardians. They stand there, patient and undemanding, preserving the secrets, discoveries, dreams, and even the sorrows of countless generations. Each book is a door opening into its own universe, its own timeline. From ancient manuscripts recording philosophies of life, historical accounts of fallen empires, to romantic love stories, thrilling adventures, or scientific formulas that change civilizations, all are encapsulated within fragile pages. They speak no words, yet they recount stories of millions of years, billions of people, of cultures born and faded. They are silent witnesses to humanity's evolution, invaluable treasures of wisdom and experience. The presence of books creates an atmosphere unmatched by anything else. It's an atmosphere so silent that you can hear the beat of your own heart, the gentle whisper of wind through a window, or even the rustle of dry leaves outside. This silence is not an emptiness, but a profound fullness. It is woven from millions of words, millions of ideas, millions of emotions slumbering within the pages. This silence invites contemplation, reflection, and a deep sense of peace. In that space, you do not feel alone. On the contrary, you feel enveloped by a grand community of souls who have written, read, and thought. You feel part of an endless current of knowledge, where past, present, and future merge. That atmosphere also carries an ancient wisdom, a wisdom that is not loud or ostentatious, but gently permeates your soul. It is like the breath of sages, poets, and scientists who entrusted their entire lives to these words. The strangest and most wonderful thing is that, despite being surrounded by millions of words, by stories echoing from every corner of time, that space is still filled with a beautiful silence. You can stand in the middle of a colossal library where perhaps billions of words await discovery, yet you will only feel a strange tranquility. This is not the silence of an absence of sound, but the silence of completeness, of perfection. It is a silence that allows your mind to wander, your thoughts to soar, uninterrupted by the clamor of the outside world. This silence is a gift. In an increasingly noisy, hurried world, where everyone constantly seeks stimulation and novelty, such a silent space becomes a precious oasis. It allows us to reconnect with ourselves, with our deepest thoughts, with life's big questions that we often overlook in the daily hustle. The silence of books is not muteness, but a wordless symphony, where each note is a potential, a discovery awaiting. And here is something truly profound. You don't necessarily have to read a single book to feel their power. Simply knowing they are there, quietly existing, is enough to create a special feeling. Just seeing the neatly aligned spines, the evocative titles, the pages concealing entire worlds is enough to feel comforted, inspired. The presence of books brings a silent faith, a faith that knowledge always exists, that there are answers to our questions, that there were those who came before and left their mark. It brings a sense of continuity, of a legacy that never fades. In moments when we feel lost, confused, or in need of advice, just looking at the rows of books, we know that an infinite resource awaits our discovery. We don't need to rush. We can approach them whenever we are ready. This special feeling comes from knowing that no matter how quickly life may change, no matter how much technology may advance, the core of wisdom, of human experience, remains perfectly preserved within books. They are loyal friends, non-judgmental mentors, always ready to share when we seek them out. You might not be a regular reader. You might not have the time to immerse yourself in long novels or complex research works. But simply knowing that books are present around you, in your home, in your city, is an invisible source of encouragement. They remind us of the importance of learning, the value of contemplation, and the beauty of stillness. In a modern world brimming with overwhelming information and virtual connections, the physical presence of books carries a deeper meaning than ever before. They are tangible objects that can be held, that can be turned, carrying a truthfulness, a stability that digital screens can hardly provide. They are a reminder that sometimes the most precious things are not those that are loud and dazzling, but those that are quiet, enduring, and profound. Therefore, cherish spaces with books. Grant them reverence. Let their quiet and wise presence permeate your soul, bringing you peace, inspiration, and faith in the power of knowledge. Because whether you open a page or not, simply knowing they are there is enough to make your life much richer, deeper, and more hopeful. Have you ever felt like you're racing against time, burdened by countless worries, to the point where you forget how to breathe deeply, forget what true peace feels like? In this hurried life, we often get swept into the whirlwind of work, responsibilities, and endless desires, forgetting that sometimes the most precious things lie in quiet moments, in the ability to let go and reconnect with ourselves. Today, I want to tell you a small story, a simple moment I was fortunate enough to witness. It changed the way I perceive relaxation and how we can find peace even in things that seem utterly ordinary. Outside, it's raining heavily. Raindrops race against each other, tapping on the window, creating a noisy and cold symphony. The wind whistles through the cracks, bringing a bone-chilling cold that makes one want nothing more than to curl up in a warm blanket. Yet, in this cozy room, there's a completely contrasting image, a picture of absolute serenity, utterly untouched by the turmoil outside. That's my cat, Marshmallow. He's a soft, fluffy ball of fur, with creamy fur mixed with a bit of golden brown, now curled up into a large cotton ball, nestled close to the warm fireplace. The fire crackles, casting sparkling streaks of light onto his fur, as if he's enveloped in an aura of peace. Marshmallow is completely oblivious to the torrential rain outside, to the noisy sounds or the creeping cold. His world right now is confined to the warmth from the fireplace, the softness of the rug beneath him, and the gentle rhythm of sleep. I sat down in a nearby armchair, silently observing. Each of Marshmallow's breaths was soft and steady. His tiny chest gently rose and fell, slowly and deeply. Not a hint of tension, not a trace of haste. Each breath was like a whisper of tranquility, of completely letting go of all burdens. His ears occasionally twitched slightly at the sound of heavier rain, but immediately he would sink back into a state of carefree abandon. His eyes were tightly closed, deep in some dream, perhaps dreaming of garden adventures or delicious cans of tuna. And then a soft sound emerged, like a gentle purr from deep within his throat. That purr wasn't a demand, nor a call. It was a melody of contentment, a silent affirmation that everything was all right, that he was completely happy and safe in the present moment. That purr radiated a strange warmth, a profound peace, making my own heart soften. Watching Marshmallow, I suddenly realized a simple truth that we as adults often forget: the ability to relax completely. We constantly search for peace somewhere far away, in trips, in complex recreational activities, without realizing that the key to peace lies right within us, just like this cat. He doesn't need to go anywhere far to find happiness. His happiness is here, right in the present moment, in the warmth, in the softness, in his contented purr. You can emulate that state, right now, right here. Try closing your eyes or simply soften your gaze, allowing your eyes to relax, no longer needing to observe or analyze anything. Imagine you are curled up, warm and safe, just like Marshmallow. The rain outside might still be falling, worries might still be waiting, but in this moment, you are completely allowed to let go. Breathe deeply, feeling the fresh air fill your lungs, expanding your chest. Hold that breath for a few seconds, then gently exhale, releasing all tension, all worries, all the pressure weighing on your mind and body. Let your breath become slow and steady, like the rhythm of a sleeping cat, unhurried, unforced. Let each inhale bring peace, and each exhale carry away all anxieties. Feel your body from the top of your head down to your heels. Allow each muscle to become soft and pliable. Start with your face, relaxing your jaw, your forehead, and the small muscles around your eyes. Let a gentle smile form on your lips, a smile of relaxation and acceptance. Continue to relax your shoulders, feeling their weight dissipate, no longer carrying any burdens. Let your arms and hands become light and soft, as if they are floating in the air. Continue down to your back, abdomen, hips, and legs. Imagine every muscle fiber loosening, every knot untying. Allow gravity to pull you down, feeling your body grow heavier, sinking deeper into where you are sitting or lying. Just like Marshmallow, immersed in sleep, without any resistance, completely trusting in the support of the ground, of the warm rug. Feel the steadfastness of the earth beneath you, the absolute support without you having to do anything at all. And when you have completely relaxed, listen for the purr within you. It's not an animal sound, but the sound of contentment, of peace rising from within. It's the joyful cry of the soul when allowed to rest, when allowed to simply be itself, without needing to strive, without needing to prove anything. It's the voice of satisfaction, of finding joy and stillness in the present moment. In this moment, you are not just physically resting, but also nurturing your soul. You are learning to let go, learning to accept, learning to find joy in stillness. You are allowing yourself to be truly yourself, completely and unconditionally. Remember, relaxation is not a luxury, but an essential need. It is the source of energy for you to continue your journey, a lighthouse guiding you back to yourself amidst the vast ocean of life. Carry this lesson from Marshmallow and allow yourself to enjoy such complete moments of peace every day. Let stillness become your companion, helping you overcome all storms and find serenity within your soul. Have you ever felt your mind like a cluttered room, overflowing with thoughts, worries, and responsibilities piled so high it's hard to breathe? An invisible burden pressing down, making you lose your peace, joy, and even the energy to live each moment to the fullest? In this hurried modern life, we constantly face pressure from work, family, social relationships, and even our own expectations. Gradually, small anxieties accumulate, transforming into a dark cloud covering the sky of our souls. But is there a way, a simple yet powerful technique, to free the mind from these invisible shackles, to rediscover inner peace and freedom? Today, I want to share with you a method that has helped many people, including myself, find relief and serenity. It's a visualization technique, an inner journey you can undertake anytime, anywhere, with just a few moments of quiet. Imagine you are sitting in a quiet place, perhaps your favorite corner of the room, by a window overlooking a garden, or simply in your mind. Before you is a notebook or a pristine white sheet of paper, along with a pen. This pen is no ordinary pen. It is a magical tool capable of drawing out every burden from your mind. Now, begin to write. There's no need for neat handwriting, no need for perfect grammar. Write down everything that is weighing on your mind. Every worry about upcoming work, about bills that need paying, about a difficult conversation you need to have, about words that might have hurt you today, or negative thoughts about yourself. Let the words flow. Imagine each stroke of the pen as a string pulling a burden out of your head. Write about the responsibilities you are carrying, unfinished projects, unfulfilled promises, the expectations others have of you. Write about the persistent, inescapable thoughts, the vague fears, the regrets about the past, or anxieties about the future. Don't leave anything out. Allow yourself to unburden everything. Every word, every line, every page is gradually filling up with the burdens you've carried for so long. Feel the gentle release as you transfer these invisible burdens from your mind into tangible words on the page. Think about the smallest things, like forgetting to buy groceries or an unanswered email, or bigger things like financial pressure or the health of loved ones. Everything, without exception. Imagine you are cleaning a cluttered room, and each item you pick up is a worry being placed onto the page. Your notebook is gradually thickening, containing all the chaos you've kept hidden within. When you feel you've written almost everything, that you've unburdened most of your worries, look at the paper. It's no longer pristine white, but covered with your anxieties, responsibilities, and heavy thoughts. These are the things that have occupied space in your mind. Now imagine yourself gently, yet decisively, tearing that paper from the notebook. Feel the ripping sound of the paper, a sound symbolizing separation. This paper, with all the burdens on it, no longer belongs to your notebook, no longer belongs to your mind. It has been separated, becoming a distinct entity, no longer connected to who you are. The act of tearing this paper is very important. It is a powerful declaration that you no longer wish to carry these burdens. You are actively creating a distance between yourself and those anxieties. They are no longer a part of you. They are just words on a piece of paper. Before you, imagine a small flame flickering. It could be a warm fireplace, a small campfire under a starry sky, or simply a candle burning on a table. This flame is a symbol of purification, of transformation. Now, with a decisive and intentional motion, throw the paper full of worries into the flame. Feel the gentle warmth radiating from the fire. Let it embrace everything you have unburdened. As the paper touches the flame, imagine the fire as a living creature, eagerly devouring your burdens. This is not destruction, but transformation. The words on the paper, the symbols of anxiety, will no longer exist in their original form. Observe closely. The flame begins to lick at the edges of the paper, gradually spreading inward. The words you wrote, the burdens you carried, are beginning to distort. They curl, twist, and slowly turn black. Little by little, the paper burns away, transforming into tiny black flakes of ash. The worries, responsibilities, and negative thoughts you wrote down are now just dust, without form, without meaning. Thin smoke rises, carrying the last remnants of those burdens, dissolving into the air, merging into nothingness. Take a moment to witness this entire process. From a paper filled with anxieties, now only a handful of ashes remains. This is the clearest proof that what once weighed heavily on you is now gone. They have been purified, released, returned to dust. When the last ashes have cooled and vanished, take a deep breath. Feel the change in your mind and body. A sense of lightness spreads from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. The space in your mind now feels more expansive, clearer, like a sky after a rain shower, blue and fresh. The burdens have disappeared. You no longer feel oppressed, bound. Instead, there is a feeling of freedom, a deep peace that you may not have felt for a long time. This is the space you have created for yourself, a space for new ideas to blossom, for joy to return, so you can live fully in the present. This technique is not a magic spell to erase all problems in your life, but it is a powerful tool to help you manage anxieties, preventing them from accumulating and overwhelming your mind. It helps you realize that you have the choice not to carry unnecessary burdens. Whenever your mind starts to feel heavy, remember this technique. Allow yourself to repeat this journey of liberation. Write, tear, burn, and feel. You deserve to live a life with a serene, light, and energetic mind. Take one more deep breath, truly deep, and feel the freedom spreading through every cell of your being. You have liberated yourself. You have returned to yourself, to your inherent peace. May you always find serenity on your life's journey. Have you ever wondered what truly happens when a day draws to a close? When the twilight stretches its embrace over the rooftops and night gently knocks at the door? It's not merely a simple transition between light and darkness, but a sacred moment, a silent invitation from the universe, signaling it's time to let go, time to find peace. The transition from a state of wakefulness, brimming with worries and activities, to the realm of dreams where the soul is soothed and the body restored, is a wondrous journey we undertake every night. It's not an abrupt interruption, an on-off switch, but a graceful, gentle process, like a serene dance between two worlds, between reality and the unconscious. And I've discovered a special way to experience and cherish this journey, a personal ritual I perform each time night falls. Imagine a long day as a flickering fire in a hearth. During the day, that fire burns brightly, providing energy, illuminating every hidden corner of life. We work, study, communicate, solve problems, just like dry logs fed into it, keeping the flame constantly ablaze, sometimes burning fiercely with passion, sometimes smoldering with persistence and endurance. We pour ourselves into our work, our relationships, our dreams and aspirations. That fire symbolizes our energy, our vitality, and our ceaseless activity. But then, as night descends, when tasks are complete, stories told, meetings concluded, and streetlights begin to glow, the fire gradually cools. The dancing flames are no longer fierce. They soften, transforming into warm embers, sparkling in the darkness, carrying a strange, serene, and elegant beauty. That is the clearest signal, undeniable, unignorable. It's time to rest. It's time to allow ourselves to relax, to sink into the profound stillness of the night. Like those embers, we need time to smolder, to retain the necessary warmth for tomorrow, but also to allow the fatigue of a long day to completely dissipate, giving way to absolute peace, a peace that comes from within, from the depths of the soul. And to undertake this sacred transitional journey, I often liken it to a very familiar image, a common action we perform every day, climbing the stairs. The ground floor of the house symbolizes our daily life, where all activities unfold, where laughter, voices, phone rings, and keyboard clicks blend into a symphony of ceaseless busyness. It's where we face deadlines, attend meetings, make big and small decisions, where we nurture relationships and resolve challenges. The ground floor is where we live, experience, and sometimes also where we accumulate worries, sorrows, and invisible burdens that we place upon ourselves. As the day's embers fade and my body begins to feel heavy, that's when I stand before the first step, an invisible yet meaningful threshold. The first step I take is not merely a physical act, but a conscious decision, a promise to myself. I am leaving behind the ground floor of daily life, where busyness and worries still linger. Each step is a declaration, a spiritual release. I imagine myself shedding each burden of the day, like heavy coats, unbuttoned and left behind, one by one, with every step I take. These could be worries about unfinished work, unsatisfactory conversations, unfulfilled expectations, or even moments of frustration and disappointment. All are bundled up and gently set down, no longer accompanying me upwards. This is when I allow myself to rest, to leave behind what has passed and move towards tranquility. My house is not a modern, flashy structure, but a home that has witnessed countless seasons of sun and rain, countless whispered stories, laughter, and tears. And it's authentic. Rustic sounds become an indispensable part, a familiar melody in this transitional ritual. Each time I step onto a wooden stair, a familiar creak echoes like a greeting, a reminder. It's not a frightening sound, but a soothing lullaby, a whisper from the house itself, from its very soul. The creaking wood underfoot, the gentle tremor of the floorboards, the wind whistling through window cracks create a unique symphony of coziness and familiarity, a melody of safety. It's as if it's telling me, you're home, you're safe, everything is all right, rest now, my dear. These sounds embrace me, soothe my soul, helping me feel sheltered, belonging, like a child cradled in a mother's warm arms with no need to worry about anything. The higher I climb, the further I feel from the hustle and bustle of life on the ground floor. Each step is an invisible boundary, helping me separate from the world of unread emails, unanswered messages, and plans for tomorrow. And so, I ascend, one step at a time, slowly and purposefully. My mind begins to calm. The chaotic thoughts, the ceaseless flow of information in my head gradually subside, giving way to a gentle, tranquil stillness. I am no longer rushed, no longer feel the pressure to do or think anything. There is only the present moment, the current step, and the sounds of the house lulling me to sleep. It feels as if with each upward step, I breathe deeper, allowing the fresh air of peace to fill my lungs. As I reach the final steps, the atmosphere seems to change as well. It becomes more hushed, more serene, and there's a gentle anticipation in the air. A sense of peace envelops me, a profound inner tranquility. I know I am entering the realm of sleep, another world where all the burdens of reality are temporarily set aside, where the soul is free to soar and the body is healed. The higher I ascend, the lighter my body feels, my spirit more unburdened. Sleep is no longer something distant, but a close friend waiting, ready to embrace me. Each upward step is not just an entry into sleep, but into a space of regeneration, of renewal, where I can shed all weariness to wake tomorrow with a fresh source of energy. Finally, I reach the last step, and the bedroom door opens like a gentle welcome. The room, with the soft light from the bedside lamp, the comfortable bed, and the faint scent of lavender essential oil, becomes the final destination of the journey. This is where I complete the ritual of letting go. I take off the last coat of the day, discarding the final lingering thoughts in my mind. I lie down, close my eyes. The creaking of the house seems to soften too, blending into my own steady breathing. They are no longer separate sounds, but part of a whole, a melody of peace, a lullaby that sings me into deep sleep. The nightly journey up the stairs is not merely a simple habit, but a sacred ritual, a precious lesson bestowed by life. It teaches me about letting go, about the importance of allowing myself to rest, to detach from the clamor of life. Each night, as I ascend those steps, I am not just going to sleep, I am regenerating myself. I am preparing for a new beginning tomorrow, with a clearer mind, a lighter heart, and a spirit full of energy to face new challenges. Remember, sleep is not the end of a day, but the preparation for a new beginning. It is a gift we give ourselves, the necessary pause for the soul to heal and the body to recover. So next time, when you feel the day's embers fading, listen to the call of rest. Imagine yourself ascending the invisible steps of your own life, each step a liberation, a closer approach to the realm of peace. Let your home, with its familiar sounds, lull you to sleep. Cherish that transitional journey, for it is the key to living a more complete and meaningful life every day. Let each night be a journey of rebirth, so that each morning you wake to a beginning full of hope and energy. In the hurried pace of modern life, we often seek moments of peace, places where our souls can rest. We dream of distant journeys, luxurious retreats, or meditation sessions amidst majestic nature. But few realize that one of the most sacred sanctuaries, where we can truly wash away all worries and rejuvenate our energy, is our most private space, the bedroom. For me, the bedroom is more than just a place to lay my head after a long day. It is a ritual, a promise to myself of tranquility, of returning to my true self. Every evening, as the bedroom door closes, I know I am stepping into another world, where time seems to slow down and all burdens are allowed to be set aside. It's not just a change in physical space, but a transformation of the soul, from the clamor of the outside world to the quietude of the inner self. After a long day of work, facing countless pressures and urban noise, the moment I open my bedroom door always brings a strange sense of liberation. The room welcomes me with a gentle, cool breeze, like a soft embrace from a loved one. The fresh air, faintly scented with the gentle lavender essential oil I often use, dispels the smell of dust and fatigue lingering on my clothes and hair. It's a strangely pure feeling, as if all the impurities of the outside world are left behind the door. The lighting in the room is also skillfully adjusted. Not too bright, but a soft, warm glow from the bedside lamp, enough to illuminate every small corner, yet still create a cozy, inviting atmosphere. Everything seems arranged to welcome me back, allowing my mind to begin the process of letting go and relaxing. The soothing colors of the walls, the serene landscape paintings, and even the small green potted plants placed in the corner of the room all contribute to a peaceful ambience, helping me easily find balance. The centerpiece of the room, without a doubt, is the four-poster oak bed that I adore. It's not just a piece of furniture, but a work of art, a symbol of safety and tranquility. The four tall, intricately carved wooden posts rise like silent sentinels, guarding my sleep. Pure white curtains, delicate as mist, drape softly from the four posts, creating a private space, completely separated from the outside world. Within the embrace of this bed, I feel enveloped, shielded from all worries, all judgmental gazes. Every time I gaze at that bed, a sense of peace spreads through me. The soft mattress, the cool satin sheets, the pillows as gentle as clouds, all invite me to a deep, dreamless sleep. It's not just a place to sleep, but a place to dream, to rejuvenate, to rediscover myself after the hustle and bustle of life. That bed is a reminder that no matter how harsh life gets, there is always a safe haven for me to return to be myself without pretense or concealment. But before sinking into the soft embrace of the bed, I always perform a small ritual, an important prelude for my soul and body to be cleansed. I step into the compact, adjoining bathroom where the light is equally soft. Standing before the mirror, I observe my reflection. Tired eyes, skin speckled with road dust, and deep lines etched by the day's worries. It is the image of a woman who has fought tirelessly throughout a long day, and now she deserves to rest. I turn on the faucet. The cool water flows out, dispelling the lingering heat in the air. I cup my hands under the clear stream, feeling the freshness seep through my fingertips. Then, I gently splash water onto my face. Once, twice, then a third time. Each cool drop touching my skin is like a soothing whisper, awakening every dormant cell. The sensation of dirt, sweat, and all the day's accumulated tension seems to vanish with the flowing water. My face feels as if it can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The fatigue in my eyes gradually dissipates, replaced by a feeling of refreshment and purity. It's not just a simple act of cleansing my face, but also a moment of connecting with myself, listening to my body after a long day of bracing against the outside world. That act of washing my face with cool water, for me, carries a much deeper meaning. It's not just about removing physical impurities, but also a ritual of spiritual cleansing. Each time the cool water glides over my skin, I imagine it washing away all the worries, anxieties, and negative thoughts that have clung to me throughout the long day. Stressful meetings, urgent deadlines, careless words, or even unfulfilled expectations, I visualize them all as specks of dust clinging to my face. And that flowing water is the current of forgiveness, of letting go. I allow myself to relinquish all control, all clinging to what is past. I allow myself to be truly myself, raw and authentic, without any layers of fatigue or pressure. In that moment, I am no longer the woman busy with work, no longer the mother worried about her children, or the wife burdened with household chores. I am simply me, a person seeking inner peace. The cool water not only cleanses my skin, but also purifies my mind, bringing a rare tranquility to a noisy life. It is a moment of presence, when I fully focus on the sensation of the water, on my own breath, on the communion between body and soul. I close my eyes, listening to the gentle sound of the flowing water, feeling each cool drop soothe my skin, and letting my mind drift to a peaceful realm. After feeling the purity spread, I reach for the coarse cotton towel hanging neatly nearby. Unlike soft, smooth towels, I prefer using this one with its rustic, coarse texture. Each time I wipe, those firmly woven cotton fibers gently soothe my skin, providing a very real, authentic sensation. I gently pat the towel onto my face, absorbing every lingering drop of water. The rough texture of the cotton towel is like a reminder to return to reality, to my body. It's not so gentle that it makes me float away, but strong enough to pull me back to the present moment, to the warmth and dryness spreading across my face. Each time I dry, I feel as if I am wiping away the last traces of the old day, preparing for a new beginning, even if it's just a night's sleep. Standing before the mirror once more, I see a different image. Eyes no longer tired, skin fresher, and a gentle smile gracing my lips. Peace has returned, not from some distant place, but from this simple ritual itself, from this act of self-care. It is a miraculous transformation, from exhaustion to freshness, from anxiety to serenity, all in just a few brief minutes. This ritual of relaxation and self-renewal in the bedroom beginning with stepping into the cool space, contemplating the peaceful bed, and especially washing my face with cool water and then drying it with a coarse cotton towel has become an indispensable part of my life. It not only helps me prepare for a good night's sleep, but also affirms the value of dedicating time to myself, washing away worries to rediscover inner peace. Try it once, and you will see that serenity is not far away, but lies within the small, meaningful rituals we create for our own lives. Turn your bedroom into a sanctuary and transform every evening into a ritual of rebirth. Have you ever felt constrained? Not by invisible chains, but by the very clothes you wear daily, by the unseen pressures of modern life? We rush through the daily grind, donning neat, sometimes restrictive outfits to fit different expectations and roles. We hold back deep breaths, pushing ourselves to meet the demands of work and society. Yet deep inside, our souls always yearn for something truly free, truly light, a space of our own to breathe, to be ourselves, to live true to our purest nature. And then as the day ends, as the burdens of work are gradually shed, the most wonderful moment is when we return to our sanctuary. It's not just a return to a physical space, but a return to our true self, where we can shed all masks, all constraints. For me, that moment is marked by a simple yet meaningful act, a sacred ritual, changing clothes. Not just any clothes, but a special set of pajamas, linen pajamas. The first time I touched this fabric, I felt a cool breeze blow through my soul. Linen, with its natural rustic fibers, offers an immediate cooling sensation. It doesn't cling, doesn't feel stuffy or suffocating. Instead, it gently embraces the body, like a morning mist caressing the skin. That breathable feeling is truly wonderful, especially on hot, humid summer nights, or simply when you want your body to breathe after a long day. It's the first release, a promise of comfort awaiting. Just think, all day long we have to wear stiff office wear, tight jeans, carefully buttoned shirts, tight belts, constricting buttons, all seem to remind us of the rules, the frameworks we must adhere to. We move, work, and even breathe within certain limits. Our bodies are forced to maintain a certain posture, to endure pressure from the very clothes we wear. This causes not only physical discomfort, but also affects our mental state, making us feel more stressed and tired. But when you slip into linen pajamas, all barriers seem to vanish. No more tight belts, no more irritating buttons, no more even the slightest constraint. It's a feeling of absolute freedom, a liberation we sometimes forget how much we need. Your body is allowed to unfurl, to move most naturally, unhindered by anything. Every small movement, from stretching refreshingly to curling up on the sofa with a book, becomes unusually easy and comfortable. It's not just physical comfort, but also a state of mind, an affirmation of the right to be free, the right to be oneself after a long day of work and adhering to conventions. This physical freedom quickly spreads to the mind. When the body is no longer constrained, the mind also feels much lighter. The worries and pressures of a long day seem to be shed along with the daytime clothes. You no longer have to worry about maintaining posture, keeping creases, or appearing proper. Now, you are simply you in your most comfortable and authentic form. It's like shedding a heavy suit of armor, revealing the soft, vulnerable yet vibrant person within. This is the moment you allow yourself to rest, to fully rejuvenate. Changing into linen pajamas is not just a simple act. It has become a ritual, a clear signal I send to my body and mind. It's time to rest and recover. Like flipping a switch after a day of work, this action signals a significant transition from an active, alert state to one of relaxation and letting go. As soon as I put on that outfit, a strange sense of peace washes over me. My body recognizes that its tasks for the day are complete, and now it's time to recharge its energy. It's like a gentle whisper, relax, everything is going to be all right. This is especially important in the modern world, where the line between work and rest is often blurred. We easily carry stress from the office home, and even continue working in our minds even when we're already in bed. But with linen pajamas, that boundary is clearly reestablished. It helps me escape the endless loop of thoughts, forcing me to slow down, to listen to my body. This is not just a habit, but a conscious act, a reminder to myself of the importance of letting go and rejuvenating. It's an act of self-care, a way to tell myself, you deserve to rest, you deserve to recover, you deserve peace. And when the body is freed from all constraints, the magic begins to happen. Linen pajamas allow my skin to breathe freely. You can feel the gentle airflow gliding over your skin, carrying away lingering fatigue and heat. Each breath becomes deeper, slower, fuller. Your lungs fill with fresh air, unhindered by any thick or tight fabric. This freedom in every breath is the foundation for a deep and complete sleep. The relaxation doesn't stop at the skin's surface or with breathing. It penetrates deep into every muscle fiber, every joint. Muscles completely relax. The tension accumulated in the shoulders, neck, and back after a long day seems to dissolve into thin air. When you lie down in bed, you no longer feel uncomfortable from fabric bunching up or clinging tightly. Instead, you sink into a state of absolute tranquility, as if floating on a cloud. You feel your body weightless, your mind serene, ready to embrace the restoration that sleep brings. This complete relaxation has significantly improved the quality of my sleep. I fall asleep more easily, and my sleep is deeper, uninterrupted by discomfort or stuffiness. Waking up the next morning, I feel full of energy, mentally clear, ready to embrace a new day with an open heart and a clear mind. This is not just about getting enough sleep, but about getting a quality sleep, a truly restorative sleep that helps to rejuvenate both body and mind. The comfort of linen pajamas also encourages me to dedicate more time to other relaxing activities. Reading, listening to music, meditating, or simply sitting quietly, sipping a hot cup of tea. In that outfit, everything becomes more pleasant and serene. It helps me reconnect with myself, to listen to the needs of my body and soul. It's a sacred time where I can detach from the noisy world and find inner peace, the balance needed to live a fulfilling life. Modern life is always hectic, and we often seek freedom and relaxation in grand, distant things. But sometimes the most precious things lie in the simplest, most intimate choices. A set of linen pajamas, seemingly a small item, yet it offers a profound lesson on how we treat ourselves. It reminds us of the importance of shedding burdens, whether physical or mental, to allow our bodies and souls to truly be free, to truly rest and recover. Allow yourself to experience that freedom. Find your own linen pajamas, anything that brings you a sense of lightness, comfort, and peace. Because when we know how to take care of ourselves, starting with the smallest things, we will have enough energy, enough serenity to face all challenges and fully enjoy every moment of life. Remember, true freedom begins from within, and sometimes it's simply about slipping into a cool linen pajama set at the end of the day to allow our souls to soar and rejuvenate. In our hurried lives, we often seek moments of peace, places where our souls can rest. Perhaps for many that space is the bedroom, the familiar bed. But for me, that peace doesn't just come from a space. It also comes from a very specific, very tangible feeling, an experience I believe everyone should try at least once: the weight of a blanket. It's not just an item for warmth, it's an invitation, an invisible embrace that holds you, bringing you back to yourself. Imagine a frigid winter night when the wind howls through the window and the whole world outside seems to be swirling with worries and busyness. I step into my room where a high, sturdy bed stands like a small throne reserved for tranquility. The bed isn't merely a place to lie down. It's an oasis, a fortress of peace I've meticulously crafted. The first sensation upon touching it is the astonishing softness of the thick goose-down mattress. It's not just thick, it also has perfect elasticity, cradling your body gently yet firmly, as if made to support every curve, every pressure point. Each time you sink into it, you can feel the soft feathers shifting, whispering a promise of deep, dreamless sleep, a complete rest you've always longed for. It's not just a mattress, it's a floating cloud, a gentle embrace welcoming you after a long, tiring day, shedding all stress and pressure. And then the magic appears, the heavy wool blanket. It's not the light, flimsy type of blanket we usually see, easily dislodged with a mere turn. This is a blanket woven from thick, high-quality wool fibers with deep, warm colors, reminiscent of peaceful evenings by a fireplace, where time seems to slow down and all worries dissipate. When you lift it, you immediately feel its significant weight. It's not just a layer of fabric for warmth, it's a weighty mass, carrying a silent promise of safety and protection. Every fold, every weave exudes durability, reliability, as if it has been there through countless winters, ready to embrace and shield you from all the world's cold. I chose it not just for its material or color, but for its very weight, because I know that sometimes to find lightness, we need something heavy enough to hold us down. As I lie down, sinking deep into the soft mattress, I slowly pull the blanket up, letting it cover my entire body. The moment it touches my skin, then slowly spreads its weight across my body, is an indescribable, almost ritualistic experience. The blanket's weight doesn't concentrate uncomfortably in one spot. It spreads evenly, embracing me completely from shoulders to feet. It's not an oppressive pressure, but a gentle, firm weight, like a giant hand slowly resting upon you, anchoring you in place, calming every sense. I feel every muscle fiber, every joint gently compressed, like a deep tissue massage, releasing all knots and tensions accumulated throughout the day. All muscular tension seems to be soothed, dissolving under that steady pressure. It holds me tight, but doesn't restrict. It anchors me, but doesn't imprison. Instead, it creates a clear boundary between me and the outside world, a soft yet solid barrier, a protective cocoon that nothing can penetrate. The warmth from the blanket spreads gradually, not an oppressive heat, but a pleasant warmth, slowly permeating every cell, dispelling the lingering chill in the air. I feel as if I'm wrapped in a safe cocoon, a cocoon of peace. This is what I mean, the feeling of a tight hug from the universe. Not an ordinary hug from a loved one, though those hugs are also incredibly precious. This is a grander, vaster embrace, coming from an invisible yet powerful energy source, an all-encompassing and unconditional presence. It brings an extraordinary sense of stability. In life, we often feel precarious, lost amidst countless choices, countless changes, the relentless waves of life pushing us around. But under this blanket, all insecurity seems to vanish. I feel anchored, protected by a force greater than myself, an ancient and eternal presence. It's the feeling of belonging, of being accepted and loved unconditionally, without needing to prove or strive. All worries about the future, all regrets about the past fade, giving way to the present moment, full of peace, where I simply exist and feel. It's like finding a firm foothold in a rushing river, a moment of absolute stillness amidst life's clamor. The blanket's weight makes it difficult for me to turn over easily. At first, you might find this immobility slightly uncomfortable, a bit restrictive. The body instinctively wants to seek another position, to squirm to escape the constraint. But then you'll realize that this isn't a limitation, but an invitation. An invitation to let go. An invitation to surrender control, to abandon the restless habit of tossing and turning to find a perfect position, an optimal sleeping posture. Under this blanket, the perfect position is already set. It's the position of stillness, of absolute surrender. I can only let go, allowing my body to fully sink into the mattress, into the blanket's weight. And strangely, it is in that very immobility that I find a profound freedom. Freedom from incessant rambling thoughts, freedom from the pressure of what to do, where to go, who to become. My mind gradually becomes quiet, like a still lake reflecting a starry night sky. I no longer have to struggle with myself, with unnamed anxieties. I simply am there, present and receptive. This experience of profound safety and warmth isn't just about body temperature or physical comfort. It goes far beyond that, touching the deepest layers of the soul. The warmth the blanket provides isn't just physical heat. It's a warmth that radiates from deep within the soul, dispelling the chill of loneliness, of fear, of uncertainty. It's the warmth of being sheltered, protected from all dangers, all worries, all the judging eyes of the outside world. I feel as safe as a child in its mother's arms, enveloped by boundless love, where all fears vanish. All outside noises, all negative thoughts are pushed away, making room for a private, inviolable space. This is where I can be most fully myself, without needing to pretend, without needing to strive to fit any expectations. Just me, the blanket, and absolute peace, a moment of being myself without any pretense. In the modern world, filled with worries and invisible pressures, we often forget how to return to core values, to truly quiet moments. This heavy blanket isn't just an item, it's a symbol of the necessity of allowing oneself to rest, to let go of unnecessary burdens, a symbol of seeking safety not externally, from successes or others' recognition, but from within, from self-acceptance and compassion. It teaches me that sometimes to truly soar, we need to learn to anchor ourselves firmly. To feel free, sometimes we need to feel held tight. The feeling of safety and warmth from the blanket's weight has become a life philosophy for me. It reminds me that no matter how much life pushes us around, no matter how fiercely storms may rage, there is always a peaceful place to return to, an invisible embrace to hold us. And that place, that embrace, may not be a specific location, but a state of mind, a deep connection with one's true self, and understanding that one deserves to be safe and loved. Find yourself such a blanket, whether it's a tangible object or a quiet moment in your mind, a habit that helps you reconnect with yourself. Let it embrace you, hold you tight, and allow you to let go, because it is in that surrender that you will find the true strength to face tomorrow, with a soul comforted, renewed, and full of hope. Have you ever felt constrained? Not by invisible chains, but by the very clothes you wear daily, by the unseen pressures of modern life? We rush through the daily grind, donning neat, sometimes restrictive outfits to fit different expectations and roles. We hold back deep breaths, pushing ourselves to meet the demands of work and society. Yet deep inside, our souls always yearn for something truly free, truly light, a space of our own to breathe, to be ourselves, to live true to our purest nature. And then, as the day ends, as the burdens of work are gradually shed, the most wonderful moment is when we return to our sanctuary. It's not just a return to a physical space, but a return to our true self, where we can shed all masks, all constraints. For me, that moment is marked by a simple yet meaningful act, a sacred ritual: changing clothes. Not just any clothes, but a special set of pajamas, linen pajamas. The first time I touched this fabric, I felt a cool breeze blow through my soul. Linen, with its natural rustic fibers, offers an immediate cooling sensation. It doesn't cling, doesn't feel stuffy or suffocating. Instead, it gently embraces the body like a morning mist caressing the skin. That breathable feeling is truly wonderful, especially on hot, humid summer nights, or simply when you want your body to breathe after a long day. It's the first release off a promise of comfort awaiting. Just think, all day long, we have to wear stiff office wear, tight jeans, carefully buttoned shirts, tight belts, constricting buttons, all seem to remind us of the rules, the frameworks we must adhere to. We move, work, and even breathe within certain limits. Our bodies are forced to maintain a certain posture to endure pressure from the very clothes we wear. This causes not only physical discomfort, but also affects our mental state, making us feel more stressed and tired. But when you slip into linen pajamas, all barriers seem to vanish. No more tight belts, no more irritating buttons, no more even the slightest constraint. It's a feeling of absolute freedom, a liberation we sometimes forget how much we need. Your body is allowed to unfurl, to move most naturally, unhindered by anything. Every small movement, from stretching refreshingly to curling up on the sofa with a book, becomes unusually easy and comfortable. It's not just physical comfort, but also a state of mind, an affirmation of the right to be free, the right to be oneself after a long day of work and adhering to conventions. This physical freedom quickly spreads to the mind. When the body is no longer constrained, the mind also feels much lighter. The worries and pressures of a long day seem to be shed along with the daytime clothes. You no longer have to worry about maintaining posture, keeping creases, or appearing proper. Now, you are simply you, in your most comfortable and authentic form. It's like shedding a heavy suit of armor, revealing the soft, vulnerable, yet vibrant person within. This is the moment you allow yourself to rest, to fully rejuvenate. Changing into linen pajamas is not just a simple act. It has become a ritual, a clear signal I send to my body and mind. It's time to rest and recover. Like flipping a switch after a day of work, this action signals a significant transition from an active, alert state to one of relaxation and letting go. As soon as I put on that outfit, a strange sense of peace washes over me. My body recognizes that its tasks for the day are complete, and now it's time to recharge its energy. It's like a gentle whisper: relax, everything is going to be all right. This is especially important in the modern world, where the line between work and rest is often blurred. We easily carry stress from the office home and even continue working in our minds even when we're already in bed. But with linen pajamas, that boundary is clearly reestablished. It helps me escape the endless loop of thoughts, forcing me to slow down, to listen to my body. This is not just a habit, but a conscious act, a reminder to myself of the importance of letting go and rejuvenating. It's an act of self-care, a way to tell myself, you deserve to rest, you deserve to recover, you deserve peace. And when the body is freed from all constraints, the magic begins to happen. Linen pajamas allow my skin to breathe freely. You can feel the gentle airflow gliding over your skin, carrying away lingering fatigue and heat. Each breath becomes deeper, slower, fuller. Your lungs fill with fresh air, unhindered by any thick or tight fabric. This freedom in every breath is the foundation for a deep and complete sleep. The relaxation doesn't stop at the skin's surface or with breathing. It penetrates deep into every muscle fiber, every joint. Muscles completely relax. The tension accumulated in the shoulders, neck, and back after a long day seems to dissolve into thin air. When you lie down in bed, you no longer feel uncomfortable from fabric bunching up or clinging tightly. Instead, you sink into a state of absolute tranquility, as if floating on a cloud. You feel your body weightless, your mind serene, ready to embrace the restoration that sleep brings. This complete relaxation has significantly improved the quality of my sleep. I fall asleep more easily, and my sleep is deeper, uninterrupted by discomfort or stuffiness. Waking up the next morning, I feel full of energy, mentally clear, ready to embrace a new day with an open heart and a clear mind. This is not just about getting enough sleep, but about getting a quality sleep, a truly restorative sleep that helps to rejuvenate both body and mind. The Comfort Linen Pajamas also encourages me to dedicate more time to other relaxing activities. Reading, listening to music, meditating, or simply sitting quietly, sipping a hot cup of tea. In that outfit, everything becomes more pleasant and serene. It helps me reconnect with myself, to listen to the needs of my body and soul. It's a sacred time where I can detach from the noisy world and find inner peace, the balance needed to live a fulfilling life. Modern life is always hectic, and we often seek freedom and relaxation in grand, distant things. But sometimes the most precious things lie in the simplest, most intimate choices. A set of linen pajamas, seemingly a small item, yet it offers a profound lesson on how we treat ourselves. It reminds us of the importance of shedding burdens, whether physical or mental, to allow our bodies and souls to truly be free, to truly rest and recover. Allow yourself to experience that freedom. Find your own linen pajamas, anything that brings you a sense of lightness, comfort, and peace. Because when we know how to take care of ourselves, starting with the smallest things, we will have enough energy, enough serenity to face all challenges and fully enjoy every moment of life. Remember, true freedom begins from within, and sometimes it's simply about slipping into a cool linen pajama set at the end of the day to allow our souls to soar and rejuvenate.